what's the state of our industry? If you were to give a state of the union, what are 2 or 3 points that you would put in the state of the union of our industry today?
That's a good question. I think number one, the RIA space is in the best place it's ever been, as far as I'm concerned. With technology, the ability to custody, multi-custodian, the RIA is now in a position, more so than any time I've seen it, to compete against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody. And it's the technology, and it's the custody and the safety of assets and the reporting, and the ability to really be unencumbered by a large firm that will limit your ability to really service your clients in the way that you want to service them. So I think the RIA industry is in a good place. It's very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely hard to differentiate yourself. But it's always going to be there, and it's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
Never has, never will. And it's just a matter of trying to figure out, the best way to connect and keep clients.
Mm-hmm. And so when you say that about where the RIA industry is today, why wasn't the RIA industry in that same spot 10 years ago?
Technology.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, it was the view, in my opinion, of the independent advisor was not really, it wasn't a quality view. But now, because of technology and because of the level of sophistication that some of these, like Schwab and Fidelity and some of the big custodians, the amount of money they've invested in it has taken the RIA from a place where it was hard to compete to where now you can compete with anybody.
Mm.
So that 10 years ago, it was hard to do that. But now, because of technology and the access and the kind of innovation that's going on right now, it's a great time to be an RIA.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great time.
And the ability, and so in your mindset, it's a matter of saying that the investment that a Schwab and a Fidelity have put into innovation and then opening up that access to independent advisors,
yes,
now levels the playing field versus the millions, tens of and hundreds of millions of dollars that like a Merrill Lynch or a Morgan Stanley have put into for their broker dealers and advisor reps as well. And so that's where we're at now relative to where we were. If you think about the technology that Schwab had 10 years ago, it was terrible.
Right.
And now where they have it, Schwab's technology is some of the leading technology around.
Absolutely.
And so that makes sense.
Absolutely. Schwab, and listen, I came out of the non-RIA world.
Mm-hmm.
I was with the boutiques, Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, Oppenheimer, et cetera. And those firms, were well ahead of the independents because the independents didn't have that access to the to the resources, But these firms, Schwab, Fidelity, et cetera, they've made massive investment and they've now leapfrogged it. And also, I think the wirehouses, they're dying.
Mm-hmm.
They're old. When I first got in the industry, it was youth, it was energy, it was, and I watched the industry gray.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm watching one part of it die while another part kind of takes market share. There's a economist called Schumpeter, and he talks about something called creative destruction, that we go through periods of creative destruction. I think right now financial services is in that period.
Walk me through what's creative destruction.
It's the new eating the old, literally. It's a very Darwinistic survival of the fittest. And Schumpeter talks that there's periods of time when economies or sectors of economies go through creative destruction, kind of like what Amazon did to retail, And right now we're going through creative destructive period in financial services, especially with the older established firms literally dying a slow death, and these smaller, agile, more client-centered firms can now not only compete but beat them at their own game.
But does that mean that, because like if you think about Amazon and the retail, which I think is a great example, because it is Amazon came in to an antiquated system which had mom and pop shops and Walmart basically,
Yes.
right? And it forced the mom and pop shops, if they want to stay around, they got to figure something else out, a unique value prop.
Yes.
And change the way that they've done business. They can't just say that. And then Walmart has drastically changed the way they're doing business because of it. So does that mean that the wirehouses are dead, or that the wirehouses are going to have to reinvent themselves in terms of if they want to stay alive? I mean, I think that they're both probably similar.
I think
areas.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. I think the wirehouses, they have one major problem that puts me on when I look at the pan balance scale, where are they? They're in a lot of trouble because they're not bringing any youth into the business. The average age of the advisor is probably in the wirehouse, I've got to believe now, late 50s, early 60s. When I walk through a UBS office or a Merrill Lynch office, or it's gray, it's old. When I go visit my RIA clients, they're younger. There's more energy. And they're two different worlds, They're two different worlds. And I see this world eating this world. I don't know what this world will end up looking like. They're well capitalized. So they've got the parent, they got the mothership,
and they got the brand, which is big. I mean,
and they do have the brand, although I don't know what the brand really means now to the newer generation of investors. I'm not sure that it means anything.
That's fair.